All right, we talked about Houston, and of course they're ready. Let's take some reaction. You've seen the stadium, the walk, and everything, the state of readiness. Let's take some reactions. Then we talk. Let's talk about Mexico City. What are they up to in Mexico City?
We are 1 month from the start of the FIFA World Cup. That's why we are here today. In just 31 days, on June 11th, the first of 104 matches will be played in Mexico City. In just 34 days, we will hold our first match right here in Houston as Germany, the 4-time World Cup champions, will play Curacao, who are making their World Cup debut. As the event approaches and excitement builds, we're here to report that Houston is ready.
It's no secret that Houston is a sports city, and since 2004, this city has hosted more major sporting events than any other city in North America. And that solidifies Houston and Harris County's role for sports, welcoming fans and visitors from around the globe.
All right, welcome back. That's the city of Houston showing us the state of readiness. Austin, even though we have a lot of ground to cover, this guys are ready. Forget about they're just showing us they're ready. And I like the way the guys are always throwing around the stats. This is going to happen this way. This is going to happen here. This is going to happen here. Like they're on top of everything. Any scenario that you could imagine, they're prepared for it.
That's what it is, Yemi. I've been privileged to work on projects in this country, in the United Kingdom, and I'll tell you this. We are so big on planning and organizing, risk management. These guys, all day, every day, they are monitoring, identifying, and assessing risk. So it will be difficult for something to just come and say, we didn't know this was going to come. They will see it, you know. And that's the power of planning. That's why officials of Nigeria will not have rest when Austin is talking sports. I will keep telling them that you just can't get up and do things. I was speaking to a friend, he lives in Houston. 2 days ago, we were on a long telephone conversation, and I said, are you guys really ready? Is America really, all these things we're hearing about Iran? He said, Austin, come into this city and you will breathe football. You will smell the World Cup. Because this is a project that they've been on for a very long time. And that's why when they give you those stats, they are not just bragging. They know what they want to do. And we feel so bad that Nigeria will not be there. Got a huge Nigerian community. So imagine if the Super Eagles, you know, had a chance to, you know, play in this city, it would be a football fiesta. So I think it's time we talk about preparation, readiness for big events. Africa, not the entire Africa. I think Morocco, you know, and some other countries, they are learning these things. But Nigeria, take front seat. West Africa, come and see how people put things together, because you already know that you're doing this. You must do it properly. I'm planning. I'll say it again. You're definitely planning to fail. That's it. Mexico, you know, I mean, there's no way you share border with the United States of America, with Canada, and you'll not tap into those blessings. So Mexico, they will use this World Cup to do things good. So they have done the countdown, our final 30 days. Can you believe it? The 2026 FIFA World Cup. And look, for Mexico, it goes beyond just hosting the World Cup. Now they will use this to understand what it means. Infrastructure development for football to thrive in their country. Kehinde Idris, mark this day down that we had this show, the 12th day of May 2026. You will see how Mexico and their football will turn around just by co-hosting this World Cup, Kehinde.
It's as simple as that. This is the reason why they bid. This is the reason why they get into conversations like this, because they want to grow. They want something that will task them, something to push them. Already they are prepared, but there is something about hosting a huge tournament like the FIFA World Cup or the Olympic. You would up your game even further than where you have it. And look at what discussing Mexico in between Canada, USA. These are like Yemi said, you know, risk management plans, you know, seeing things before it comes. These are things they will see from countries like this and then hop it. And you will see how it will rub off on their club football, how it will rub off on their national team football, how it will rub off on their youth development in football. This is all encompassing. And then when you see it look that beautiful, it always seems like they just woke up and they met it. No, they worked hard to get to this point.
Exactly. That's the point I wanted to make, KD, as we leave this matter. Mexico's economy may not be as big as Canada and the United States, but when you talk about World Cup experience, hosting experience, they are bigger than the United States and Canada because they've hosted single-handedly hosted this event twice, 1970 and 1986, and that is why they are ready. You know, they may not have spent as much money as the United States and as Canada. Maybe they do not have some of the state-of-the-art equipment that you likely see, but in their own right, in terms of fan involvement, in terms of the star power, I mean, just look at the pictures we are seeing on the screen. We're not even talking about the stadium. We're talking about just the streets. Artwork, the streets. You know, and trust me, it's already a carnival in Mexico at this point. So we'll see what happens. They've marked 30 days to go. That's the clock right there. And the countdown has officially begun. So we'll see what happens with that.
The clock on the street.
You walk past,
count down every day as you go to work.
Definitely. All right, so that's it for the World Cup. In the days to come, we will be talking so much more about the World Cup. All right, Austin, let's take our usual trip to Bayelsa State and talk about what's going on in Bayelsa State with grassroots football.
I love it, you know, because this one we've said we appreciate the consistency that Bayelsa State government they are giving to the Prosperity Cup, 8th edition. Afini Ladies and Okorona United emerged champions. And at the grassroots, we say everyone is a winner. They're all champions, you know, just embracing and having that atmosphere for the power of sports to thrive, you know. I love it so much. I mean, I'll let you go to the screen. Let our viewers, we talked about it last week, but let them understand and see who actually met champions at the Prosperity Cup. And then Kehinde Idris will jump on his own grassroots football development.
All right. So, quick one, just so that you can get perspective as to what Austin is trying to say. Let's start with the men. Okoroma United defeated Akima Biogbo 1-0, full-time score. They emerged winner of the 2026 Prosperity Cup. That's the men's final. Let's flip, just as you heard Austin say, Afini Ladies lost to Active Ladies 1-0. Active Ladies, I like that name. Ladies are already always active, so I don't know. But good one there, full-time score 1-0. Okay, Idris, we can wax lyrical about Bayelsa State. I like this. I like the fact that the competition has been kept intact. I like the grassroots involvement. I like the community base of this competition. That's what I'm impressed about.
Yes. So also what I'm impressed about, before I go into that, just see the scoreline and you understand these are proper finals. 1-0 win in both male and female. That was keenly contested. That's the level, you know, this football has got into. But involving everybody, Austin mentioned something very, very marquee, that everybody is a winner. There are Afini Ladies who didn't win. The male team that did not win, even the ones that went out in the quarterfinals, there is something. A player, two players, a coach have been discovered in all of this in their community. In fact, there are some good players that their neighbors do not know they are this good, and they will be like, oh, so this boy is this good.
We've already heard about the involvement of Barcelona.
It's as simple
with
as
the Prosperity
Cup.
It's as simple as I don't know the details of what they are, but
if it doesn't happen now,
they are on ground.
It will happen tomorrow.
They are on ground. We've seen them in some of the interviews. They've already talked about a few players that they've seen. So it just shows you that this is huge.
Continue to do the right things in your small corner.
Yes.
The light will come there.
Especially now that the world is a global village.
It's a global village. Just put it out there, and then, you know, you'll find somebody far away Australia talking about want to get involved. So well done to Bielsa. They've kept this. I was saying it last week. It started like we just want to do it for a small part of Bielsa, and then it blew into the entire Bielsa. It became a national tournament. Now we're discussing it as probably a world tournament where you have other people from around the world getting to everybody involved from the start all the way to this period.
All right, we'll talk extensively on this later on, but we need to move on right about now. We have gotten to the business end of the Nigerian Premier Football League, and if you didn't agree with Kehinde Idris and Austin that this, what happens in the NPFL is stuff of legends. It doesn't really happen everywhere. Till the last day, we don't know who is going to win because the competition is very stiff. Let me run through the results quickly. Match day 37. The results, all for you, right here on the screen. Abia Warriors lost 2-0 to Coke Khalifa. El Kanemi Warriors, Niger Tornadoes, goalless. Rangers International, Flying Antelopes defeated Bendel Insurance 2-1. Kano Pilas had a slim 1-0 victory over Warri Wolves. Katsina United defeated Yaba Elephants and Iba 2-0. That's why United defeated Plateau United by a lone goal. Rebel Stars defeated Bayelsa United 2-1. Shooting Stars defeated Barao FC 1-0. Wiki Tourists lost at home to Rivers United. This result, but let me keep my thoughts to myself. But this result, it's a twist and a lot of things. And we can't look at these results in isolation without also thinking about who is playing where in the last game. But I don't want to jump ahead of myself. Let me hear your thoughts. I'm very sure Austin has a lot to say as well. But let me hear your thoughts. I think, I've let the cat out of the bag anyway, I think Rivers United put themselves in a very good position. Some feel they allowed it slip. They had both hands on it before, but the grip, was loosened by Rangers. But with this result, it's hard to bet against Rivers United.
Yes, match day 36 had Rangers go away and pick an away victory, which was big.
Yeah.
We know what a away result is. And, with that, Rangers have put themselves in a fantastic place. In fact, going into the final day, even if they're on the away ground, you have everything in your hands. Do everything possible to win away like you did just 2 match days away.
To keep your destiny
Rivers
in your
United,
hands.
I don't know how they pulled this off. Because that game was so important. Wiki Tourists still stand a chance of survival before that game. So if Wiki had won, they would still be in the conversation of being in the NPFL. But that loss condemned Wiki Tourists to relegation. So they lost and they got relegated. So nobody can tell me they actually, played some, shenanigans in that game because Wiki really did need that game. But Rivers United, this is stuff of champions. You need to pull a cat out of the hat in moments like this. Match day 37, away ground, you're up behind Rangers, and you need all of the 3 points you can't get on the away ground on match day 37 for you to be in a good stead at home on match day 38. I think Rivers United should get a proper thumbs up. But Rangers did that in match day 36, and that's why we say if we can do everything possible, this league is one that should be talked about everywhere around the world.
All right. I know what else is going to say. It's going to be comprehensive. But let's quickly look at the top 4 and the bottom 4. Rangers International with 65 points. It must be said their destiny is in their own hands if they go away and win.
Yes.
No matter what Rivers United do, wherever they are. But this is Nigeria Professional Football League. It's going to be very hard. But let's see what's going to happen. Rivers United in second position. Shooting Stars, not in the conversation for the title, but of course, in conversation for, in fact, as a matter of fact, it's settled for a game on the continent, Ikorodu City, in the 4th position. The teams in red, already relegated, Bayelsa United and Wiki Tourists, Warri Wolves and Niger Tornadoes will be hoping to drag themselves out. We'll see what happens with just one game. That's the bottom 4. Austin, I want to get your thoughts. I know we're getting ahead of ourselves because you really can't talk about week 37 without trying to peep into the last day to look at where the pendulum will swing.
Absolutely, but first, let's say congratulations to Rangers and Rivers United, I think they've given us good reasons to talk about the MPFL. Shout out to Shooting Stars also. They just need to win their last Confederation Cup. Same with Ikorodu City. I think this league has again shown that it is competitive. This league has shown that we can talk about it, in the brightest way that we can. If, I repeat, if we fix administration. I looked at that game between Rangers and Bendel Insurance, and I was like, gracious goodness, what is going on? And quickly, the MPFL board, they put out a press statement that referee Yakubu Adamu has been suspended indefinitely with immediate effect by the NFF Refereeing Development Committee from all league and football matters. But he has damaged the reputation of the league. What sort of a sham penalty was that? It was like, they must get something out of this. In 2026, it was such a disgrace. And I would say now that the damage has been done, what is in it for Rivers United? Because it was so clear that referee Yakubu Adamu just wanted Rangers to win that match. That win at all costs is the problem with our football. That's why sometimes you see the players, they don't care. They say, oh, the administrators will do the job. So they go out there and they don't give us the quality that we need to see on the field of play. That said, match day 38 should definitely get us talking. Hopefully we won't come here and talk about two referees being suspended, because Rivers United and Rangers, they must win on that final day, Emmy.
All right, they must win. And the most important person, the decider, wouldn't be the referee. It should be the players themselves.
Yeah,
all right.
Before you, from 11th position, 18th position,
You can still be dragged down.
Relegated.
You can still be dragged down.
So between 11 and 18, if you're not careful on match day 38, you can be 11th on match day 37
and end up
and you
on
will relegate
17.
on match day 38.
All right, that's another interesting thing to note. All right, we're on the home stretch. As we prepare to go, let's talk about what's going to happen tomorrow. We really don't have time to talk about all the drama over the weekend, most especially the game West Ham and Arsenal. It's been dividing opinion, but of course, we can't really talk about it. But let's start with Barcelona. And I don't know how to say this, but of all places that you would want to win your title, but to go do it at the home of your rivals, to beat your rivals at their own stadium, to do it, I think there's no better way. And of course, in the city of Barcelona, celebrations, you can see the bus parade, and of course, expectedly, Hansi Flick getting a new contract. He has done a good job. You could say maybe Xavi laid some of the foundation, but he has done a good job, and I feel he should be commended.
Yeah, it should. It should. I think Real Madrid on their own side continue to press the self-destruct button. And if you're a top team like Barcelona, your direct rival are doing such to themselves in their own corner, you need to smell blood and take blood, and that is what they've done. It happened last season, it happening this season. If Madrid continues to do the business the way they are doing it, I think Barcelona will just coast on. And Xavi said something so many years ago while he was playing. He said, we want to equal the amount of La Liga titles, because when you talk about the giants in Spanish football, it is Barcelona and Real Madrid. And the gulf in the title numbers, we want to close it down. Hopefully, we get to equal it and get past them. And these are times where you take advantage, and Barcelona are really taking advantage.
All right, quick one, Austin. Aside the celebration, there are rumors filtering in. Congratulations to Barcelona anyway, but there are rumors filtering in that Jose Mourinho might be the next manager of Real Madrid.
Was all of the conversations where There's uncertainty as regards some managerial role. They've said he's coming back to Chelsea. They said he might just replace Michael Carrick at Manchester United, and now the Barcelona conversation has come up again. So tells you that the man has built a legacy for himself, some level of respect in football coaching, and so we'll wait to see. It's all rumors, and let's brace up for it because we're getting into that silly season of rumors, talks here and there, but yeah, we'll only confirm when it is confirmed. That said, congratulations to Barcelona. 2-0 win over Real Madrid at Camp Nou. They did it in style. Rashford scored a beautiful set-piece goal. And they bust that match. Didn't make it look like a Clasico because they really wanted to win that one and become champions. Their 29th league title in their history. And I think they tied the win ratio in the El Clasico, I think 106 now to Real Madrid's 106. So it means that next year the El Clasico will be fire. I love that level of competition. And I always bring it back home and say that someday we'll also see something like that. Let's bring the conversation to the Premier League right here in England. That's one also getting loads of conversations. Arsenal did the job at West Ham, but we're still talking about what happened with the VAR call. But look, a foul is a foul. Mikel Arteta like the place where they are. But hey, Manchester City, they're saying, look, the title is no longer in our hands. Listen to Pep Guardiola.
Not in our hands now, so it depends on. They have to draw points, but only we can do is Wednesday win again and play the final FA Cup and Bournemouth. And look, Bournemouth in that moment is not, I would say, the best place to go. And look, Aston Villa, the last one. So our calendar is really, really demanding and today. But it's simple. So it's just 2 weeks. I don't have to take a look in the table because I look the table in my head. I know the opponents and the goals difference and everything. I love to be here again. Almost we finished second again in this season minimum. So I love it. I love to be here. I did a fighting to qualify for the Champions League was so difficult. I love to Carabao in our pocket. We played a FA Cup final in Wembley, like it's the most beautiful game of the season in this because both we live many times. It's so beautiful. And yeah, I love it. I like it. No. When you arrive, I have the feeling that the job. When you arrive there, fighting against Arsenal, being there all the time after, with many changes that happen, the spirit of the team, how they help each other, how in every training, I saw that behind the scenes you cannot see it. It's a joy to work with them.
For Manchester City, but I mean Wednesday is crucial when they go to Bournemouth.
Well, let me throw that to Kane Idris. Quick one because we got to go.
Yes, every game is crucial. In fact, the celebration Arsenal had over the weekend, it has died down because now they are looking to the Man City Crystal Palace game. After this game, they will be looking at their game against Burnley. It's a roller coaster of emotion, and you need to live up every moment.
All right. Of course, the celebration police in England is saying Arsenal had better win. All of this celebration, fireworks after every victory. You had better win because the celebration police is out there. I guess it's a good place to leave it on the show. Austin, we have to go. I hope you're not a member of the celebration police.
No, I'm not. I'm just the guy who is monitoring everything that is happening. Who's saying that, look, maybe this is the time for a change at the Emirates Stadium. 20 years coming. Arsenal looking good to win a double. Let's see. That win at West Ham was a very good one for the Gunners. Puts their destiny in their hands. Pep Guardiola was quick to mention Burnley and Bournemouth, and I jumped at it, forgetting that it's Manchester City and Crystal Palace on Wednesday. We'll see what will come out of that one. That's the show. In London, I'm Austin Okunakpan. In everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
All right, that's the much we can take on the show. It's a wrap here in Lagos. Before we go, I want to thank KD Idris for his time on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me here.
All right. We'll continue the conversation when we're out of the studio. That's the show. We hope you enjoyed everything. We'll do this again tomorrow. I'm Amy Adebayo.